Hello, I'm John Moran, Superintendent of Valley Christian Schools in Dublin, California. I'm here today to talk to you about a program called TipNow, which uses an electronic information system by which students, teachers, or even parents can alert us in the administration of anything that goes on that is out of the ordinary, so that we can follow up on such situations to determine if there's any validity to the tips. The reason that we've decided to go with TipNow is that many people complain about things happening in the school environment, but very few of them want to come forward and give their name. So it's tantamount to what happens with police departments. People say, hey, police, clean up the crime, but they don't want to come and give the information, put their name on the line. So what this does is it gives a confidential, anonymous method for people in our school community to give us tips of things that are going on that we can follow up on and, if necessary, act upon. It's very important to know, and it's very important for us to let our constituencies know that we do not discipline any student based on an anonymous tip. But we can and we will act upon, appropriately so of course, tips that we follow up on and find to be valid. Our school has a little over 1,000 students. We're a pre-K through 12 school. We're a Christian school, and people think in Christian schools, people who are not familiar with them think, oh, well, you're a Christian school, you don't have problems there, you don't have disciplinary issues. Well, that's not the case. We like to think, we hope to think, that we have fewer than some other types of schools, but we still have many, if not all, of the same problems you will see in any other type of school. It's just different in magnitude and percentage and volume. We started employing TipNow just a couple of months ago, and our very first tip led to an investigation of a serious drug situation that was proven to be valid, and we were able to intervene in a young person's life and get him the help he needed to turn his life around. I do not think it'd be overly dramatic to say that this may have been a lifesaver in this case. That was our very first tip. We've had other tips since then that have been valid. It's important to know that if you choose to use this system, it'll take a few weeks for kids to get their, to sow their oats on it and just goof around and say Billy's picking his nose and in the corridor and something like that, which really is just silly and wastes the time of administration. But once they get used to it, we have almost no what I would call goof tips anymore, and we just get a very few tips a week, and we follow up on them. Some of them we can prove, some of them we cannot, but it's creating an environment that I believe is much safer here, and it's another tool. It's not a panacea for all the problems you have at your school, but it's another tool in your security toolbox that I think is very effective. My principals and my dean of students are thrilled with this tool. I am extremely happy with this tool, and it's really enabling us to have a safer and more secure environment. One other caveat I will give you is that when you first introduce it, a number of parents may, and they did here, become very concerned that Big Brother is watching and this is an invasion of privacy. Well, we had that same problem or concern when we introduced security cameras several years ago. But after a while, those concerns were allayed, and those the complaints diminished, and now security cameras are a way of life on our campus, and people are very happy to have them. It's very interesting that every parent wants security, and they want unruly students to be disciplined until it's their own child. So However, you need to work through this case by case, and once they realize that this is creating a safer environment for their student, their child, and all students, then I found that people are very supportive of what we're doing with TipNow. I would highly recommend it, and people can contact me at Valley Christian Schools in Dublin, and I'd be glad to tell you more about our experience with it. But I think if you try it, you won't be sorry that you did. Thank you, and God bless.